Oh my goodness, what is up, everybody? It is another Monday evening, or a Thursday, or a Friday. It's not Tuesday, though. It's not. It's really not. But it is once again a draft night. We're getting into the football season, and I really pressured these guys into combining Andor and the NFL into our Spies and Scoundrels Draft tonight. We got a little bit of news up top to share with you, but most importantly, we're just here to have fun, have a great time, and celebrate some of our favorite freaking characters in Star Wars. But before our favorite characters, I gotta talk to my favorite dude, Wes! Wes! Wes, punch it! Shorter than I remember. Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Living Force Youtini Network podcast, all about Star Wars books, Star Wars characters, and tonight, the Spies and the Scoundrels of a Galaxy Far, Far Away. I'm one of your hosts, Eric Eilerson, and joining me tonight in the bowels of the draft room are three of the best dudes in the business, starting off with the man, the myth, the soon-to-be traveling quite a lot, Dr. Corey Helton!
Hello.
Monday.
That is correct. Happy Monday. Getting a little stressed with all the traveling I'm about to be having to do. I'm just, it's so insufferable that I just have to go to Hawaii. It's going to be terrible. Oh, man, I'm just so upset about it.
Boo
this man.
I'm sad. I was just telling the guys before the show that I'm going to go through 4 airports on Saturday, and I kind of hate flying, so I'm not looking forward to 19 hours of traveling or something ridiculous next week. It's going to be insane. So
as long as at some point you look at your wife and say, this is why I hate flying.
Exactly. This is why I hate flying. Yep. I'm going to show up to the good news is the next time you see me, hear my voice, I'll probably have a Mai Tai in my hand. That's the only benefit here.
Oh my goodness. I sure hope so. But you know who I think should have a Mai Tai for no other reason than, for no reason, just have a Mai Tai. It's Dr. Charles Hankel. Where's your Mai Tai?
I need a Mai Tai, guys. It has been a day of taking some L's. I'm not going to lie. I've had an all-day fight over setting this Wi-Fi up, trying to get it better at the new house. And, I tried to take out some of my aggression on Pokemon Diamond after that on the old Elite Four, and I lost. And so here I am now. So I refuse to lose this draft. You heard it here first. I'm coming out of this with a win because otherwise – I don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't have Hawaii to look forward to like someone.
That's true. Charles, as you're taking a drink, I got to ask, who's your Pokemon starter?
Who's my first starter?
Yeah. Let's go OG because I stopped at Mew. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so sorry.
I went Charmander every time.
That's very solid. I think Charmander's got my heart. Squirtle's got the tactical, though, because Bubble is just so OP. But you know who is the bubble /OP/ best starter there is on this podcast? Wes Jenkins! Wes, wake up!
Hello, everyone. I actually just got back from traveling. I was not on the show last week, but I kind of wanted to be on it because I was just as confused as everybody else. So I went to Clinton, Iowa, where most of your milk jugs are made. So I stuck my hand in the plastic pellets where milk jugs get made. So my DNA is inside somebody's
that's disgusting, Wes.
Someone's Sprite.
Awesome.
And then I also ended up at Chicago O'Hare Airport, and I asked Eric to come hang out with me. And you know what he said? He said, the traffic is too bad, and it's an hour away. I'm like, we're an hour away? We're 12 hours from each other now, and I traveled 11, and you can't travel 1?
No, you absolutely proved your dedication to the friendship more than I did. I'll be 100%. You win. I was like, and for any of my Chicagoans out there, if anybody says, want to come hang at O'Hare? Nope. That is the answer. Oh, but to all of you who might be in airports, or you might be home, or you might be cutting the grass, doing the dishes, walking the dog, welcome in tonight. Like we said, tonight is another one of our draft episodes. We'll go over that format a little later on in the show. But we first off want to say thank you so much for spending some time with us on your podcast. what is it, catcher of choice,
I
or
suppose.
here on YouTube. Make sure you're leaving some comments. Let us know what you're thinking about the show, anything you want to see us talk about, or of course, your own draft picks later on. Before we get into that, we do want to send a congratulations to friend of the show, Beth Revis, for The Princess and the Scoundrel debuting at number 12 on the New York Times bestseller list. I think we start to take for granted that Star Wars books are going on the New York Times bestseller list, but that's like all the books. Like
It is.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
the major novels certainly tend to hang out there when they come out and stuff. But it's always refreshing to see it, and I feel like it's always especially refreshing to see it with maybe like, I don't know, is it fair to call this a little more women centric of a novel? I feel
Yeah,
like
a
it is.
romance book. A romance
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's especially good to see that there.
I definitely,
Yes.
I just started it on the way to work today and the way back, and it is a continuation of Return of the Jedi. And the first part is, so far, it's great. It's not a romance novel yet, but it's really, really good. Like you're getting into everybody's head about what's happening after the second Death Star goes down. So it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember
Yeah.
the last time one of these didn't make the New York Times
Yeah, me neither.
bestsellers,
Yeah.
and that's a good problem
Yeah.
to have as a fan.
Yeah, no pressure, all future authors, but like
I know.
this is what we expect now.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's
But
got
also
raving
it-
reviews. Everyone seems to really
Yeah.
like it. It sounds like the team has loved it. We gave it a really high review too on our team. So
We did.
It's exciting to get this book out. Like, I don't know, Return of the Jedi wasn't on my bingo card for the year, I gotta say.
Yeah, right? It's
Yeah,
fun.
it
It's fun
feels
to
like
have it.
it feels like all the films that get sort of like touch points from the books and stuff. Return of the Jedi weirdly doesn't get that many. So
No.
I don't know that I can remember the last time we got anything with Return of the Jedi. Is there going to be from a certain point of view for the Return of the Jedi? I mean, we assume so.
Absolutely. There's no
When is
way
that?
they'd
You
flub that
think
marketing
next
by
year?
not doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's
Yeah,
free
next year
money.
it's 40.
That's free
Yep.
money.
Next year's the 40th anniversary. And if there's not, you heard it here first. Egg on our face. But yeah, I'm guessing it's got to be coming.
That's such a weird saying.
Isn't it?
is
But
such
it's
a weird
but
saying.
we all
Let's
know what
just
it
not
means.
say that again.
It's so dumb. All right, yub nub on my face. I do want to say one other cool thing about Princess and the Scoundrel is that it keeps getting a lot of press coverage. Like a lot of major outlets are really pushing it in a nice way. Even today, as of recording, there was this new release from freaking Variety magazine. You know, the folks that do the exclusives on all the new shows and the movies and all these things. But they actually revealed, as we're going to put up on the screen here in a moment, Tara Phillips's full concept art for Leia's wedding dress, which we had again seen in the cover art, but this is a totally new image that, especially for the cosplayers out there, this is the full dress and all the, I mean, breathtaking detail. These pictures are gorgeous, and if you haven't seen them and you're listening to us right now, head over to the Del Rey Star Wars Twitter, but we got the front of the dress here in the glorious green with the belt, seeing a little bit of the boot because Leia's showing a little leg. It's her wedding day. Get it. But then we also do get the back of the dress that shows a lot of the details at the bottom with a lot of the intricate patterning. And again, the Alderaanian braids that she's still wearing in honor of Bria and a lot of the flowering and stuff. And I was just really kind of blown away. Corey, you mentioned it when we posted it, that Variety was like, this Star Wars book made a dress. Let's reveal it in our magazine.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I mean, I think part of the issue is, now I'm just realizing this as well, I think I may have sort of crossed wires with Variety and Vanity Fair, like in my mind now, because those are different.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
And I did mix this up at first thought, but still, Variety magazine seems to be like a kind of a surprising choice, I guess, for the exclusive. And like, it's cool to see it in a major, publication like this, because, Star Wars books are often kind of overglossed. I mean, we would rather have clickbait, articles about how Solo didn't do well because of reasons that are not true. So, it's
Denny's!
it's good to see it in publications like this. It's cool. And a photo reveal of a dress. I mean, it's odd, like, I don't know, marketing initiative, I feel like, a little bit.
Like, and this far after it came out too, like it debuted, and but it's, I mean, this is marketing. This is just regular marketing, and I think we're, like you said, we're not used to it with the books, so it's so cool to see it. And if that looks familiar to any of you that are looking at the picture, Tara Phillips is actually the artist that also drew all the covers for the Padme trilogy, the Queen's trilogy, and our very own Jacob Bush actually, Jacob Bausch. Now I'm second guessing myself. Jacob, you stayed in my home. Anyway, Jacob Bosk actually put together this really cool gridded image of a mock-up of if this was the fourth book in the trilogy. You can see Tara's work, and now I'm like, I kind of want this to be the paperback of the book.
It belongs, man. Look at that picture. It looks like it belongs very, very well. And also, I just want to say that the dress it has Padme's hands all over it, in my opinion. It looks like something Padme would wear and design, and is perfect. I love this image that you made, Jacob. It looks really good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. So absolutely
Jacob says you're mixing up his name and his actual name and his Twitter name.
Online friendships are hard. Even if you meet them, it's like, who are you? What was your Twitter profile?
I know.
But yeah, shout out to Beth Revis and the whole team for the continued success of that book. And again, if you haven't picked it up, we're doing our roundtable in 3 weeks from tonight. So you got plenty of time.
30 days.
Yep.
If you're new here, we do roundtables 30 days after release. So you got plenty of time to read it. A lot of folks like to, rush and get that content out immediately, but we have realistic expectations about how fast you can read a hardcover novel as a working adult. So 30 days.
All right.
Roundtable, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited to do this one. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, team, guys. It's awesome. Another couple quick shout outs we have. I want to let you all know what's going on over at Youtini.com. This week we have some cool updates to some of our main guides that actually got released. A lot of folks have used our What is Canon and Legends article in the past, what's the difference between the two. And it's one of our most visited pages on the site, but we haven't updated it in quite a while. So our very own Gia, one of our newer writers on the team, one of the most lovely human beings you could ever meet in the world, put a ton of work into updating that guide, and now if you've visited that page in the past, it looks a little different. There's some new stuff. We mentioned things like the High Republic, some of the video games that have come out, and just to really help folks out with that distinction between canon and legends, and with things like the Essential Legends collection. A lot of stuff has happened since we first wrote that guide, so check that out. And our very own Carl updated the guide to the Star Wars timeline. Obviously, with things like the Timelines book that's coming out later this year, and our timeline constantly being updated, and I will say being the most accurate timeline on the Star Wars internet, we had to redo that article as well. So check those out. We do try to update our key articles as often as possible. So thank you both for your contributions on that, and to the entire team for all of their continued work over at Youtini.com. Another huge thank you goes out to our friends at Patreon, patreon.com/Youtini or Youtini.com/Patreon. Y'all, as we said last week, got our full commentary of The Rise of Skywalker. The four of us watched the film. There were 2 versions that were published over on Patreon, with and without the movie sounds, depending on how you want to listen. We've gotten some pretty good feedback from it, and a lot of folks have been getting in their Rise of Skywalker feelings lately. I saw on Twitter, Discord, and YouTube comments after last week's episode, a lot of folks kind of diving back in and having thoughts about that film, and all that feedback is so cool to us, and we hope that all of our friends on Patreon are enjoying that, as well as the extra content that is coming your way. As always, make sure to reach out to our Patreon manager, Timothy the Amazing Guthrie. That's not his middle name, but he is, though. And let him know what kind of things you want to see from us here at Youtini. All right, last couple things before we get into a book review. Haven't done one of those in a while. But I want to remind you all that at Youtini.com, you got to keep track of the release schedule. It's the most up-to-date release schedule on the internet, and you got to make sure you get your pre-orders in for the High Republic Path of Deceit, which is starting Phase 2 starting on October 4th, and the High Republic Quest for the Hidden City, because remember, the middle grades matter a ton, and they're freaking awesome, and that comes out on November 1st. All right. It's been a hot minute since we've done one of these, but we have book reviews. That's right, folks. We always love to have book reviews at Youtini.com. We have a lot of, not civilians. What am I looking for? What's the name of people? Readers? Site visitors? Readers,
members,
yeah. People.
Users? People?
Citizens.
They're just
Citizens.
Yes. Just people.
Yes.
It's not a navy. It's just people.
Just people.
Soylent
Well, one of those
Green.
people is people. But one of those people wrote a book review of The Princess and the Scoundrel. It is possibly the longest, most in-depth we've ever had. So here's what we're going to do. Charles, you always read the book reviews, and I'm not going to make you read this entire thing. I want you to read a bit until you feel a natural point, and then throw it to one of us. We're going to remember popcorn reading back in school? We're going to popcorn this review of Princess and the Scoundrel
PTSD from elementary school.
Not Princess and the Scoundrel. Sorry. This is actually Shadow of the Sith. It's a Shadow of the Sith. My mistake.
All right, cool. I was going to say.
Hit it, Charles. You got this.
All right. So this is from our buddy Alexander, who reviewed Shadow of the Sith. And he gave it 5 stars, said a thrilling adventure. Goes on to say, from the very first chapter, I knew this novel would be one of my favorite Star Wars books. Having finished it now, I can say it absolutely was true. Christopher's skills at making characters both true to themselves and very compelling has a lot to do with it. I went into this book completely blind, as I do most times, and having seen only the cover art, I knew nothing more than the characters that were on it. Coincidentally, on the same weekend I got this book in the mail, I was in the middle of a long overdue sequel rewatch. Best timing ever.
That was it? That's what you do? All right, you good.
That's one of the bullet points.
All right.
Someone else take it away.
Didn't you ever do popcorn read? Aren't you supposed to call on somebody
you
else?
call
You know
on
how that
someone,
works?
Charles.
That sounds terrible.
Jesus.
Okay, audio listeners. Now you're going to hear from my friend Eric. Eric.
Thank you, Charles. The story told in The Shadow of the Sith was designed to answer questions and does so in a meaningful and compelling way. It does a great job at giving depth to things that otherwise would have remained succinct lines of dialogue unaddressed. The first part of this book is a real page-turner, and I mean it. I couldn't put the book down. The chapters alternate different points of view, the families, Luke's and Lando's, as well as Ochi's, and some mysterious interludes. Let me tell you, with the significant stack of Star Wars books that I've read so far, never have I ever found one that did so well when it comes to finding a character's voice. Every point of view is so unique, and it shows in how different the author's writing is with each character. I was completely amazed at how Christopher wrote Ochi, especially in his intro in Chapter 5. Both of the antagonists are absolutely fascinating in their own way. Ochi is pretty straightforward. He wants one thing, and he's determined to get it by any means possible. The second one, that I will not name, is enigmatic and powerful, a luring menace, inevitably leaving us with an unquenchable thirst for more. Who is this strange being hidden in the shadows and secrets of a mysterious mask? What do they want, and how far are they willing to go for it? These chapters really tease my curiosity. And now, audio listeners, you'll hear from my friend Corey.
Will you, though? Will you, though? As much as I love this novel and the whole crafting of the story, I have to admit that it took me a lot longer to go through the middle of the book. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. Maybe the pacing that just can be off at times, in my opinion. Maybe the chapters that center a lot more around Lando and Luke and a lot less on Ochi. I don't know. It's probably just me. But because I always want to read more about Ochi, and I'm not the most passionate person about Luke. Also, don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad with the middle of the book. It's just my impression. It took me a while to get to the point I was looking for in this story. Everything's a matter of perspective, right? From a certain point of view, if you will.
Ooh.
Still, it gives off the feeling that it needs to when the characters are forced to slow down because they're facing dead ends. It's my first time ever reading a work of Christopher's. I'm probably not the best person to talk to about the writing, but I had a feeling that uses of certain words or expression may have appeared a little redundant at times. Quite often, the characters are described smiling or grinning. It felt both repetitive and a little too cheesy for me, I guess. Would have appreciated to see a bit more diversity in the vocabulary choices, but it's fine. Everybody needs a bit of happiness in their daily galactic adventures.
Hey.
That said, Shadows of the Sith also takes on the challenging task of telling a story that builds a lot of ties with other Star Wars media, referencing events and names the curious reader will be glad to hunt for. To quote only a few of them, the Seeing Stone on Tython is mentioned and was previously seen in The Mandalorian Season 2. One of the characters pilot a TIE Defender that was part of the project originally led by Grand Admiral Thrawn. And some of the Sith relics that were mentioned also appear in the Lando comic series. To talk about the physical side of the book, the context clues introducing each chapter, coordinates, and timeline are a nice addition and help keep up with the multiple points of view and the back and forth between then and now. Overall, the graphic style is a welcome detail to draw attention to certain things. I like the use of different font and some of the dialogue, as well as the chapter's headers. Needless to say, the cover art also does a great job at drawing your attention. It's gorgeous. Wes, you have to read now.
Go, Wes!
This book gives sequel fans a lot of new pieces of the puzzle that we were missing. As the plot unfolds, we get to discover some secrets that were hinted at but never truly revealed in the movies. Rey's parents are given names and a super interesting backstory. Not only are these characters' storylines very compelling, but their presence also gives us the agonizing sensation that a clock is ticking, louder and louder until Dathan and Miramir meet the tragic fate. Spoiler alert, meet the tragic fate that we all know awaits them. We're also given a better insight as to why Rey ends up as a scavenger in Nema Outpost on Jakku, working to pay back her parents' debt to Unkar Plet. Or the debit card ran out. As one of my favorite Star Wars novels so far, Shadow of the Sith has definitely given the sequel fan in me a lot to feast on. In my opinion, the highlight of this book is the backstory and exposure given to characters that were not granted enough screen time in The Rise of Skywalker, and Christopher's talent at finding the right voices for the varying points of view of every chapter. If you've been waiting for something to bridge the gaps of the sequels, if you're just dying to get another Luke and Lando adventure, or if you're always the first to ask for an epic adventure in space, then this is a must-read for you.
Whew. Amazing. And Alexander adds at the end, what to read if you want more. The Rise of Skywalker novelization,
please.
Last Shot, the Lando comic, and the Darth Vader comic. And this is easily the longest review we'll ever read on the show. But the reason I did it was because I got to say, this is what's so cool about the community that I love, is that all of you that are watching and listening and reading, like, we rate reviews, we talk about the shows. This is like a full-length review with recommendations on the site that you guys can go to youtini.com and find. So, yeah, we'll tell you what we think, but there are people all like you, listeners and viewers and everyone that are constantly reviewing books on youtini.com, and you can get these reviews. Give them a thumbs up if it helped you find a thing, help recommendations, and if you liked a book, write out something like this. Tell people where to go next, because we're all on our own individual journeys. And Alexander, just great job. I'm so glad this book did so much for you. And of course, folks, if you want to get your review written on the show, maybe a little shorter, that'd be fine. But go to youtini.com, go to the book profile of whatever you're reading, scroll to the bottom, and give it a star rating, a title, and write it on out and help people find their next Star Wars read. So we're bringing these back on. Very excited to get book reviews back. Thank you all so much for everything you do. And now it's time. It is Kevin Costner starring in Draft Day, everyone.
Such a good movie.
So I've never seen it. I'm watching it at a fantasy football draft next weekend. Like, literally, we're gonna draft and watch the movie. I'm so excited.
Okay.
So, for those of you that may not be familiar with the draft episodes, it's okay if you don't like sports. Hold on. Wait. Don't go anywhere. We're okay. What these are, we all like ranking things and building teams in our head, right? Remember you were a kid and you're like, oh, what if Luke Skywalker teamed up with Lando? And now that's a book. What if this person teamed up with this person? And these things. Throughout our history on the show, we've had various drafts where we have a list of people in a certain category, and we pick people. Like in an NFL draft or a fantasy football draft is obviously the inspiration. But then by the end, we all build a team, and then you listeners get to tell us who did the best job and what team you liked. And as we go through it, we get to say why we like these certain characters, what books, what movies you can check out these certain characters in. And all y'all in the comments live tonight, I hope you help us figure out, maybe if we're between two, we'll talk it out. Tell us who you would put on your team and such things. But before we get into some specifics, and I want to ask you guys kind of your initial thoughts going into tonight, I'm going to tell everyone how this draft is going to work, because in honor of the upcoming series Andor, ever heard of it? Oh yeah, which by the way, I didn't say, I totally went to the Rogue One IMAX thing and saw a 10-minute thing from Andor this weekend. It was incredible. That show's going to be perfect. In honor of that, we are doing a Spies and Scoundrels Draft. This is all the folks that are going to be going on heists, that are going to be doing maybe some slightly shady illegal things. And fellas, tonight we are building a team. You're planning a heist, just like in, to my left here, Timothy Zahn's Scoundrels, or in James S.A. Corey's Honor Among Thieves, maybe if you want some scoundrel books. And you can build a team of 5 to get the job done. And what would any draft be without a draft board? Wes, if you would be so kind as to throw our board up on the screen, and I will tell our audio listeners a little bit of the folks that we are picking from. This is the full board, minus one person, and it features such folks like Cassian Andor, Han Solo, Mon Mothma, Tobias Beckett, Vi Marati. But we also have some legends, people like Dash Rendar, Kyle Katarn, Winter, And then, of course, we got some favorites like Dexter, Jetster, all kinds of folks that have either been spies, that have been scoundrels in their lives. And we're going to go in a snake order and pick our favorite folks. Now, to address this already, Stephanie brings up a great point in the chat. She says, where's Hondo? Not everyone made it. Not everyone made this initial cut. However,
Hondo missed tryouts.
That's he
However,
slept in.
Yeah, he didn't make it to it. You know what? You got to have the 53-man roster, and at a certain point, you just got to make cuts. So I'm going to go around, guys, and ask you a bit of draft strategy. So when you're thinking of a heist team, what are some features you're looking for? What kind of folks do you want? Who's going to make up your best team? Charles, looking at this crew, any initial ideas about what kind of people you want to make aboard your ship?
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Eric? You want me to
I
tip my
know.
hand before we start? Here's the thing that I think is important. Rather than go for big names, right? Because we could all just choose like the most well-known, maybe the most beloved scoundrels out there. I really want to think about what purpose would this person serve in a heist. And there are definitely some people on this list who might be like tier 5, or let's call them tier 5 for like a Star Wars canon exclusive reader. But if you really look at what they bring to the table, they're like a first round draft pick. So there's some sleepers on the board is what I'll say. And I do intend to pick up a couple of them.
I love that. Corey, any thoughts? Because I know, there's some of these characters, especially you as a more seasoned Legends reader, are more familiar with as well.
Yeah, I was looking through the list a little bit and kind of thinking about some of these characters, and there are a couple of Legends picks, but interestingly, as we know, sometimes the key to winning the draft is not necessarily to pick the best team, but to win the hearts of the community. So we shall see.
Team geriatrics, right, Wes?
That's true.
We'll see how this plays out.
How many people are over the age of 70 can I put on my team? That doesn't look like many.
Geriatric.
If you all go back, listen to our Jedi Council draft to hear the legendary Oppo Rancis pick of Wes.
No.
Wisdom was the key in that draft. So for me,
Wes, what are you thinking?
So just like Charles was saying, I'm picking certain aspects and key attributes that each one of these characters can bring to the table. They all have to complement each other. You can't have five characters that all are smash and grab or all like manipulation. You have to, get a good mix. So I think the team with the good mix, the best mix, if you will, is going to be the winner. Not the one that wins over the hearts of the followers, Corey. Jeez.
Yeah, well, I know.
I was going to get you last place like every other draft.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, Wes, all right?
I like where we're going. I will say I'm going to be constantly battling with myself tonight between trying to overthink and not overthink. Because I'm going to try to is there maybe a secret, but sometimes maybe you just got to grab Han Solo. What is it going to be? And really, we want to know who's going to be the Mace Windu of the draft is really the secret. Who's going to fall to the bottom? Who's going to get stuck with someone? But I'm excited. I think group chemistry is great because I think y'all might take someone that I want to put into a slot, and now maybe two of my people might get into a fight because that's always a good heist, right? Every good heist has the people that fight each other and argue too much, and that can tear you down. So I'm excited to go in, and before we go, obviously, we need a draft order. And what better way to do that than by completely randomizing it in a way that seems to always benefit Corey, though. I'm just saying, every single time we do this, it seems to work out. But Wes, if you'd be so kind as to pull up our wheel of names.
Okay. So, first pick. Are we doing first pick or are we doing last to first?
We'll do first pick, and then we'll do snake order. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.
Here we go. First pick goes to...
Gosh. Why am I nervous?
Round and round. What the hell?
That's an exact tie, sir.
That shouldn't be possible.
Freaking computer. It's supposed to pick the...
Wow. We couldn't have recreated this if we had a real wheel. I just want to
For our audio listeners, it landed right in the middle between Wes and Corey. So
this is like in the playoff game between the Cardinals and the Packers where they did a coin toss for overtime and the coin landed vertically. That's what just happened. All right, do it again.
All right.
What even is this? What is this?
Do it again.
ad
Do it
read?
again.
It's a fight to the death, Corey. This is what this is.
It looks
It
different than one
happens
you usually
again.
use, which is not a good sign.
Wheel of names we
probably
usually
don't
use.
So let's do it.
One more time. Eric.
Yes!
All right.
Come on.
101!
It's the first.
101! 101!
All right.
That's me.
So that means
I've
I
never
need to
gotten
take
first.
Eric's name off the list.
That's right.
Let me update the spinner. Wow, that didn't work right. Hold on. Corey and
Corey
Charles.
Charles.
Corey
Corey
Charles are
Charles.
together.
All right.
All right. So let me update the spinner
I'm
here
gonna
with
start thinking. I'm
Charles'
gonna start
name.
thinking.
Oh, you can't think yet.
Here we go. Here we
Okay,
go.
I can't think. No thoughts.
Here we go. And spinning for round 2 or pick 2 is
Give me that.
Corey.
That's nice.
Corey
That's
is pick
nice.
2. That's not fair. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And there were 2.
Everything's
it's just me
working
and you.
perfectly.
It's just me and you, Charles. Update the spinner. This is it. Gimme. I am
that's
last.
And Charles.
fine.
Get that.
All right,
That's fine. I
I'm
got
third.
the
double
I got
one,
the
though, at
last.
the end.
I got the last and the turn. So I got 2 picks in
Yeah,
a row.
you got the turn.
No
Okay.
problem. No problem.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
So,
give you a review of the board.
yes, please.
Take a
Please.
review of the grid
everyone
here.
that's available. Okay.
Everybody got a good idea?
Yep.
Because
All
I can review this all I want. You guys have to look at it from memory.
It's also in our outline.
It's an
I
outline.
know.
All right. So, for our audio listeners, we have 20 people on the board. We will each make a team of 5. And I'm going to start off the scoundrel, the spy that we want for our big heist here. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm grabbing Han Solo. I'm going to be Solo, and I will say why briefly. I get this is probably a more obvious one for me. I have obviously read the most heists with Han, and I gotta say, he's a good planner, but there is no one better when things go wrong getting out of a jam than Han Solo. Did he get frozen in carbonite once? Yes, but he got out. So ultimately, all his life, he grew up on the streets of Corellia. You know, he was running scams when he was 9 years old. He may have been related to royalty, maybe not, depending on canon or legends. But I'm grabbing my main man Han Solo with the 101 pick. Happy to do it. And Corey, I'm throwing it to you with number 2. I'm happy with Jonathan Taylor.
I feel like we should be able to throw some shade at everyone's picks. Like,
we can.
Put a
throw
little,
shade
thought
at
in
Han
our viewers'
Solo, my
minds.
guy. You want to throw
Yeah,
shade
man.
at Han Solo?
Someone's got to do it.
Tell me-
And
tell me
What do you got,
guy.
Charles? What are you saying?
I'm going to say that Han Solo, to a degree, is as good as the people around him. Like you mentioned, the carbonite. He's not getting out of that carbonite without his entire team. He didn't get himself out of that carbonite. You know what I mean? Like
Good
Chewie
point.
is right-hand
True.
man. He's not the same scoundrel without that team around him. So I'm going to be interested to see who you put around him because I think it makes a big difference.
I also
That's
agree.
a good point.
I
I
think
could be getting a great running back with no offensive line.
I think if he
Yeah.
hadn't ran into Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, he'd have so many bounties on his head that he would have been dead by Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, well, he won the lottery with that, though, right? Like he just happened to be in the right place at the right
He's
time
lucky.
because, like, he owed a bunch of money to Jabba the Hutt. The bounty hunters were looking for him. Like, you know, what would he have said to Jabba if they hadn't added that scene back, like in the special edition where he steps on Jabba's tails? He's like, Jabba, just give me a little more time. We'll double the money. It'll be great. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that. He would have had to lie through his teeth about that. So maybe he would be dead. Let's just leave it that way.
Yeah.
Be dead.
But I will say, you know what? True or false? The moment that Leia jumped up in the slave Leia outfit and killed Jabba with a chain and immediately erased how Han Solo's dead, he's like, I'm gonna marry her. That's it. That's the moment. All right. Happy with it. Han starting on my team. Corey, you got the entire rest of the board.
All right, heist. We're having a heist. We're having let's see, we need a heist leader. I probably also would have chosen Han first. I'm going to take the obvious second pick, in my opinion, which is Lando Calrissian. Although,
Nice.
I will say this is an interesting pick because this is young Lando. Young Lando, but not young Han. So, interesting choices that we put on the board here. Young Lando is different than older Lando. So, I'm not sure what that means, but I feel like of these choices, he would be a good heist leader, I'd say.
I think so. I think to follow Charles's example with a little fun shade on it. I think Lando's a good heist leader. I don't know if he's gonna give everyone their cut at the end. I don't know if he's gonna try to cut and run. But
a scumbag, if you will.
A scoundrel amongst scoundrels.
Exactly.
I'll give Corey
nice
this prop. His team is probably already going to win best dressed. Like his team might not complete the heist, but they'll look good trying.
I mean, check it out, dude. Look at the.
You're right.
We don't know. We don't know what fur that is. What fur do you think that is? It's not Wookiee, is it? Can't be.
It's Wookiee.
Oh no, it's probably Nerf. It's probably Nerf, right?
Isn't Nerf just like?
It's cows. Nerf is
cow
cows.
though.
It's
Like, it's kind of
It's cows.
leather. That's what a leather jacket is.
Cows don't have hair like that. Okay.
All right. So Han and Lando 1 and 2 makes sense. I mean, come on. It's Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey. You know how it's gonna go. Number 3, Charles. Both OT Scoundrel captains are gone now. So
yeah,
where are we going?
So I think I am going to go with someone else who I think is right up there with them. Okay.
Dexter.
Okay.
It might not have been there since the original trilogy, but
Charles, I'm going to
going
scream
to
if you pick this. If you pick the one I'm picking up, and I'm
choosing
serious.
Cassian Andor. I'm choosing
nice.
Cassian Andor.
Nice.
I think he's a leader. He's good in combat. He's good at proper espionage. He's been in this fight since he was 6 years old. Okay. He was invaluable. Listen now.
6 years old.
He was invaluable in pulling off arguably the biggest heist in the history of the Star Wars galaxy with getting the Death Star plans. Okay.
That's a good point.
You know, we know, sadly, he's willing to pay the ultimate price, which shows his level of dedication. There are others on the board.
Yeah.
I don't know, Lando, who maybe wouldn't have done that. I'm just throwing that out there, especially young Lando. And, you know, when we officially get the Andor series, which we don't have right now, I think it's going to be an even better pick because we're going to see more of what he can do. But for now, I'm still quite happy to have Cassian join my ranks.
So your justification on picking Andor, he's your leader. He's your leader of the group?
He
that what it
can
is?
lead. He doesn't have to be. Depends on what else happens.
All right. Okay. I'm not getting into your strategy.
Hey, Wes, listen to me.
I will say, Cassian was my other choice for 101. I think this is a great pick. I think it's awesome. I do think it's an odd strategy that you're like, well, he'll die if he has to. Bold move.
Because then you only have a four of five on your team. You know,
emphasis on if he has to. I'm not sending him in somewhere with a thermal detonator in his hand. You know, we'll see.
Oh, too soon, man. Okay.
Yeah, solid pick. I mean, we know these are all going to be 5 out of 5s to start off, and he's literally the inspiration for why we did this.
True.
Very solid. Honestly, I will say here, Han and Lando have a decent amount of EU stuff. I think as far as they got their own trilogies and legends, they're a little more canon stuff as well. I hope we get more Cassian books. I think that the series may be taking place at that, but I'd love more Cassian, even though we know where he ends, which is on a beach in an explosion. Wes!
Just leave it on a beach.
On a beach.
Oh, boy.
Wes has the turn. You got 2 picks.
I got 2 picks. So this is the board. I am going to go with a character who is on the inside, who knows what's going on within the Senate, but is also has the wherewithal to give some of that deep information to the Rebel Alliance so they know exactly what's up the Empire's sleeve. And that, my friends, is Mon Mothma.
Damn it!
I picked her because she is the best.
Good choice.
As the leader, I'm going to say the leader
What a choice.
of my group. She's on both sides of the coin. I mean, you picked all the good ones in the beginning, so I'm just gonna say she has. If Leia was up here, then that could have been a tough choice with me because she was on both sides. But I need somebody that's on the inside. I need some manipulation in my group, and that's where Mon Mothma comes from.
Starting with the spy, it's a great choice. And all the words left my brain as she came on the screen. Oops.
Same.
No.
Okay.
Gotta be a total star of the show. Starting with your leader as a spy is very interesting. I mean, obviously she's like the leader of the rebellion. We've seen her coordinate a bunch of great heists, if you will.
Very interesting, huh? I'm not done yet, so I get my turn.
Oh, yeah.
I get my
Yeah,
turn.
you do.
So I I come around for round two. I get the first pick.
Hold on. Let's recap. For anyone that these the whole first round.
Okay.
We started off. My team has Han Solo. Corey has Lando Calrissian. Orlandonis Balthazar Calrissian. Charles has Cassian Andor. Wes has Mon Mothma.
That's right.
All right.
I have these written down, so we don't have to remember these from scratch. All right.
Excellent.
So round two, pick number one. I'm gonna go complete opposite. I need somebody with brute strength, somebody who can actually get things done in the dirty when I needed to get them done, and that, my friends, is gonna be Chewbacca. I need the muscle on my team.
You took Chewbacca away from Han Solo.
That's right.
Willingly.
And so I need somebody.
That was my next choice, Wes. So good call.
As the bodyguard, he can't really blend in as well as another spy. So he is more.
Oh, you saw him on Pisana. He can, duck down slightly.
That's true. Okay, I'll give him that.
Wookiees stand out in a crowd.
He also wears goggles sometimes, so that can kind of throw you off. I don't know.
Goggles on the scouting report. Where's goggles?
They got
Did it?
Yeah, it's obviously from Battlefront 2. So
yeah.
So that's
Mon Mothma and Chewie.
My first picks on the last pick of the first round, Mon Mothma, and the first pick of the second round, Chewbacca. So that comes around back up to Charles.
Yeah, I'm in a tough spot. Because I was hoping to get Chewie. I thought he'd be a good counterpart to Cassian, kind of take that K2 role, if you will. Man, I'm between two picks. One, I think,
Burns
is one of those sleepers, whereas the other I know is a crowd favorite.
What does your heart tell you?
All right, here we go, guys.
Frodo is alive.
I'm choosing someone who I know Obi-Wan Kenobi would have recommended.
Wow.
I'm choosing Dexter Jetster.
Dexter
Jetster.
Let me tell you why.
To be honest,
4 arms and a mustache. He's like alien Tom Selleck. Okay, he's a great choice. He's muscle, he's smarts, and he's got connections, right? Like he's deeply connected in the underground. He's knowledgeable. He immediately recognized the Camino saber dart.
Yep.
This all goes a long way. Not to mention, he'll keep your team well fed. Y'all didn't think about that, did you? But you gotta eat.
Yeah, and
you gotta eat.
Nothing
you can
like,
pay him in cake. I know that
right. Exactly.
Past
So
readings.
Diner pecan pie.
So I want him primarily in the muscle role, but he's also got all those connections,
in the kitchen.
So and also in the kitchen, he makes a mean sandwich. I don't know.
I forgot about the connections role in that.
Yeah,
that
and
is
Brotherhood.
really smart.
They go into a lot of that in Star Wars Brotherhood.
Yep. He's made a few appearances recently that I guess we won't say just yet either, because there's still some time before certain things are said on this podcast. But
that's right.
Regardless, Dexter Jetster is joining Cassian.
Wow. My God, the scenes of Cassian and Dexter Jetster together would be just hilarious. I think it would be a really fun dynamic. Okay. All right.
Corey.
Back to Corey. Dang, this second round is way more brutal than the first so far.
It is. I honestly think the number 2 slot, like when you do the spinning the wheel, like whoever gets to go second is arguably the worst in the game.
You may be right.
I think it is because you don't get the obvious choice.
Are you already conceding defeat, Corey?
No, it's not true. You don't get the winner in the first round, and by the time the second round rolls around, you've already lost 2, 4, 5, 6 people are off the board right now. So, this is a tough spot. I'm in a tough spot. I'm not gonna lie. But I do think there is another obvious choice, and he has been paired up with Lando before, and Lando might not like it. He might not agree with it, but he'll take it. Tobias Beckett.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
I think Beckett is natural leader. I think he's well connected in the smuggler world. I think he's, of the people on this board, I think he's probably most likely to have, inside information on a heist that nobody else would have. So
that's solid.
I'm all about it.
Corey's team is turning on each other. I just want
already.
They all have different agendas. If you will. They're on where
Lando
it
is
can go.
taking off in the Falcon, and Tobias is trying to shoot the rest of the team.
Yes.
What you
All
gotta
right.
do. Less members
like
of the
it.
team, larger percentage of the cut. All right, that's what I say.
Dang.
It's always about money with you. All right.
All right.
Eric.
All right. Coming to the end of the second round. I'm on the turn now. I'm gonna do my first pick pretty quick because I think there's a clear one for me that may not be obvious to everybody, but I think she is gonna work very well with Han specifically, and that's Vi Marati. I'm gonna bring her in.
Nice.
Magpie, a great spy and a person that's really good at being subtle and action when she needs to, but I think she'll be a good balance to Han. I think that if Han doesn't have Chewie, doesn't have Lando, doesn't have any of his usual compatriots thus far, working alongside Vi, someone who is very experienced at keeping a low profile, getting intel, which Han is not necessarily great at, but Han gives the more bravado and stuff, and Vi can always follow along, get them where they need to go. I think they'll be a very good complement together. Also, Vi is just great, and I met her. She's a personal friend. She's at Disneyland this year.
You have a personal connection with Vi.
Yes. So that brings our second round to Wes grabbed Chewbacca, Charles grabbed Dexter Jetster, Corey grabbed Tobias Beckett. I got Vi Marati. And then the third round here. Now we're getting into some interesting folks. Because I got my pilot /
one way of
my
putting it.
kind of action one. I got my spy, who's gonna get us in anywhere we need to go. Oh man, I think here, looking at the board. Okay. I think I am going to grab someone who, someone who has some tenacity and yet has a good head on their shoulders, can get into the action, but can still be a little low profile. I'm taking Jyn Erso. I'm going to take Jyn Erso here.
I was waiting for it. Yep.
This is a tough one.
All right.
So
Neighbors are going to be mad at me.
This
Your
is
team
between.
has your team has very, very little loyalty so far. That's all I have to
That's
say.
true. That's true. Yeah. Sorry, It's not like Lando and Beckett who are pillars of loyalty. Yeah, I got Jyn, Vi, and Han. I think have all been through some hard times and all found the rebellion of their own accord. I think, which is interesting.
That's
All
right.
came
You
in.
just have to make sure they witness some personal tragedy together before they. Go
Oh
on the
yeah, I know.
adventure
Nothing
because,
bonds like trauma. Nothing
they're not
bonds
gonna
like
be-
total trauma.
They're not going to be interested until something bad happens to them. So you know.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm taking Jyn to be like the heart of the whole thing. And to just, she's got that kind of Rocky energy, right? Like, you're going to get hit, but you're going to she always gets back up, always gets back up, always gets back up. And I think adds the tenacity to my squad. And she can wear a disguise. That's also key. So, happy with Jyn Erso. Start out the third round.
Not happy.
I got
that
one
you
I'm hoping
picked
to
her.
fall to me. We'll see.
Okay,
Back to
all right,
Corey.
back to me. I'm so far just building, the team from Solo, and I'm going to continue that pattern by choosing Val because I think that
I thought about this. That's good.
that Tobias and Val are excellent together. We've already seen that. Val is not afraid to do what she has to do for the mission, even if it concludes sacrificing herself. Obvious pick, I think. Obvious pick.
Nah, having Beckett and Val together is very key. That was
I think that works better together. I'm not sure Val would work super well if she wasn't with Beckett, in my opinion. So I think the pair of them make an excellent team. Split them up. I think Tobias would be lost, and he was in Solo. And I don't know. Val's probably tougher than Tobias though, so I don't know.
That's a good point. I wish I would have
Keeps him in
known that's
line.
what you were thinking. All right, I picked Val on my second pick to ruin your draft, and that's what I'm here for.
I appreciate that.
You would have just had a defensive draft. It
That's
would have
it.
just been totally. How do we mess with other people? Okay.
You're right though. Tobias is a better scoundrel with Val. So your previous round's pick has improved based on this round. I'll give you that.
Because it was crap before.
It was really bad.
Also,
It was
Val
not
doesn't have a last name, I guess. So that's
No,
cool.
she doesn't. When I was
Yeah,
researching
it's-
for this, she literally doesn't.
It's
canon.
Accord, right? Val Accord.
The Val, he's gonna play that Val accord.
All right. Is it my turn?
It is your
My
turn. You got
turn.
Cassian and Dex.
Listen here, guys. I marked a few people on this draft board as first or second round picks for sure. Okay. And all of them are gone except for one. And I could not be happier to introduce this person to my team. If you're not familiar with Legends, let me tell you, this was one of my sleeper picks. I'm choosing Winter.
Yeah, you are. Yep.
Winter.
That's correct.
Cell shoe, guys. Winter's basically, let me tell you, if you don't know, Leia's like sister, kind of growing up, not actual sister, but they were like super tight growing up. She's from Alderaan. She was off planet, escaped the destruction of Alderaan. She was a spy for the Rebellion and later the New Republic. Get this, though. This is what really makes her special, other than the fact that she kind of looks like Storm from the X-Men. She's got a photographic and audiographic memory. Okay. She can recall literally any information she's ever been privy to. All right. So boom.
It's insane.
She's good friends with Admiral Akbar. She attended Luke Skywalker's wedding to Mara Jade. She works closely with Rogue Squadron. And in fact, she herself marries Tycho, who is like
very
one of the
closely with
coolest
Rogue
people
Squadron
from Rogue Squadron. Like I said, she looks cool. Not to mention, she was created by arguably the father of Legends, Tim Zahn. Okay. He's the one who created her. She's an absolute top tier pick from a real world perspective and an in-universe perspective, because no one else on this draft board can do what she can do. I'm picking Winter.
She's as close as you can get to like kind of having a droid on your team with that memory, like having all the, and she features in Scoundrels, actually by Tim Zahn himself.
She does indeed.
So, that's right.
I'm trying to think of how I can say that's not a great pick. So it's a good pick. Having Dexter and Winter, both intel, interesting.
Oh yeah, too much intel is never a good thing.
You're right. You're right. Too much intel. You know what? You have room for things to go wrong. What is your improviser? When things went wrong with Cassian, he got blowed up. So I don't know. We'll find out.
When things went wrong with Cassian, he shot a guy in the back in cold blood and climbed out of an alleyway. Fought himself to freedom, sir.
God, he's so cool. He's so cool. Damn it. You're right. All right. Cassian, Dexter, Winter. All right, Wes, you've had some exclamations. Some of your picks got taken this round. I know.
That's true. Yes.
You thought about Dexter Jester as the 101 back when we came up with this draft. So I know that was a hard hit for you.
I did because, I ended up picking last, and then I realized that I have to put a heist team together that complements everybody and not just what I actually want. I wanted Dexter Jester and Lando and Han, and that's not going to work because those are obviously going to be picked in the first round. So, my last pick in the third round. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. My train of thought here is I need somebody that can slip through the cracks, but also is athletic, can jump through a window and get through there without making a noise. Chewie can't do that. Chewie's going to get his fur hung up on something, and he's going to scream. He's going to howl out loud. So, yeah, I need somebody with parkour. There's two that I am debating on, and I'm probably going to pick both of them because I have this one and the turn. But,
okay.
I'm going to go with Iden Versio.
Dang it! I didn't think she was going to make it back.
That's my last pick of the third round. She also has worked on both sides of the Empire and the Rebellion, and she has a daughter that's also in the Rebellion. So I think I get 2-for-1 special. Come on,
depending.
Oh yeah,
she's on another mission. She's busy.
So I pick Iden Versio because I think she is the more stealthy of the group, and I need somebody that can get in to, some tight places, whether it be a prisoner ship or a city building, something. So, and the people that I have on my list right now cannot do that. Mon Mothma is there making deals and getting intel. Chewie is the muscle, and I need Versio as kind of the leader, I guess. I don't actually have a leader right at the moment, I don't think, but that's who I'm picking right now.
We don't have a leader. We just kind of work as a unit, and there's everyone has equal say.
Point of personal privilege, Eric. I just want to say that that's not gonna work.
Corey, I hear you and I respect your point of view. From what I'm saying, it absolutely will not either. No.
So, having said that, I think I get the sleeper of the leader group, of the person who's going to head up my heist, my team of scoundrels and spies, and that is going to be Galen Urso. Galen Urso is going to be my leader of the group because of his knowledge of the way that he can manipulate his way into a situation and make him feel accounted for in a way that they can't get rid of him. So, Galen Urso is my pick.
He can learn to lie.
He's a great
he lies
liar.
very well.
This is a great characteristic for a scoundrel. So, and that's what we're doing here, folks. So, Galen Urso is the first pick of the 4th round.
Man, this is God. You got Urso, Versio. That's good. I like that. It makes me want what we could have had in an alternate universe of Mothma and Galen Urso working together. Yeah. Like if they had actually been able to combine and bring Galen back to the rebellion. Like,
the rebellion could have built their own Star Destroyer, and they could have like fought in space and shot at each other.
It would have been amazing.
Just 2 Death Star. One's a Death Star, one's a Life Star, and they're just like,
the Light Star.
Their beams connect like the wands in Harry Potter, and it like shoots all this liquid everywhere. That's what happened.
Padme's ghost comes out of it. Anakin, stop! And it's like, no. God, it would have been. You know what? That it would have been called the Life Star. It's like, is this beam killing people? No, it's life beam. It's like that's light. Right. It's still killing people. All right, that's
Charles.
A solid.
Charles,
that's very
you're
solid.
Up next.
The board is dwindling.
I want to take a second to point out that if the ends of names sounding alike is a point in our favor, I have Winter, Dexter, Jetster, and Cassian Ander. If you say it like in the trailer.
Ander.
What the hell?
Cassian Ander.
That is how he says it.
All right. So you're right. Things are dwindling. Things are definitely dwindling, but I still see an obvious path forward at the moment. And I'm going to choose who I believe to be the only Force-sensitive person on this board in Kyle Katarn.
Damn it.
Kyle Katarn, guys.
Oh, yep.
Former Imperial, right? So he understands the whole Empire side of things. If he, I don't know what this heist is going to be. Maybe it involves that. Maybe it would help for him to know. Is there a head in that helmet, Wes, in this picture? I don't know.
There's gotta be.
He's definitely has no respect for this person's face.
No respect. So Kyle Katarn, he's Force sensitive, right? He was essentially a scoundrel. He was sort of a spy-ish character for the rebels, and he was Force sensitive. Later found this out and did become a Jedi, as you may be able to piece together from the picture that you're seeing here. This looks to me to be like either fan art or concept art for the Jedi Outcast series.
It's definitely,
right?
He's holding the gun that you carry for
that gun. That's what clued me off. Yeah. So I played a lot of that when I was a kid. So there's a sentimental aspect to this too. But yeah, I mean, now I have the Force on my team, guys. So there we go.
That's helpful. That is helpful in a heist.
Is it?
Doesn't hurt.
I mean, I gotta say,
bright
blue lightsaber big gun, pretty loud.
I read all of Scoundrels, and there was no Force abilities in that one, and they did pretty well for themselves, if I might add.
Yeah, you see, Kyle Katarn has one thing that nobody else has that's really going to hold him back, unfortunately, in the situation, and it's really going to bring down your team, Charles, and that's ethics and morality. Like, you can't have that kind of stuff, right?
You're right.
Somebody, you know.
Sorry, Corey, you're talking about weaknesses. That's just weakness.
Yes, exactly.
It's non-strengths.
That's right. Non-strengths.
See, your team is weak.
Okay, all right. The pickings are getting slim. We are down here in the lower ends of the choices here.
We're out of solo characters now. So
we are out of solo characters now.
Tough for you.
And you know what? We are, my strategy of winning the hearts and minds of the community.
Oh God.
It really backfire on me here at the end. We don't have a lot of characters left. A lot of them are very legends heavy characters that may not be recognized. So I'm going to take a risk take a strong risk and not pick someone who has a amazing like reputation and people are going to be super familiar with. I'm going to pick the Legends pick on here because I think it's going to be recognized by the community, and that is Mission Val.
Nice. I thought you might go here.
Mission.
I thought you might go here.
I'm going to go with Mission. From a personal point of view, KOTOR is one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time, Star Wars anyway. And Mission is an interesting character. You can get to know her a lot as the game goes on, and you have a lot of kind of really personal moments with her character early on. She was orphaned on Terrace and met a Wookiee, Zalbar, who had a life debt with her. And if you get he's not on the board, but if you get Mission, you get Zalbar. So
she can like text him.
How it goes. Yeah, she'll just text him and he'll show up. Also, funny enough, reading about Mission, I forgot that this was a thing. If you play Dark Side at the very, very end of the game, you can basically use the Force to make Zalbar like kill Mission, and it's really dark.
Oh my god!
And he doesn't. I don't think he does it. Like I don't think he does it. I think that was originally going to be in the game, but like they didn't let it be in the game. But he doesn't do it. But he gets really mad at you, and then they both try to kill you, and then you kill them both. So
you really know a lot about this game.
So how does that work for your team? She's a good spy, though. You don't really have any spies on your team yet, though. Yeah,
no,
you have a lot of
spies, a lot of actions and yep. Mission is she's small. She can get in small spaces. She's a computer whiz. She can hack and slice stuff, and not the type of hacking and slicing that Cal Katarn will be doing, but still useful for the team.
Less decapitations, more technology.
That's right.
All right.
Eric,
I appreciate that.
Two picks back to
my
back.
final turn. This is my full team here. I'm gonna end the fourth round with my person on the ground. Our mission control, if you will. I think we got Han, Vi, and Jin in the field. I'm happy with that. I think we do need someone being like, all right, there's a security camera on your right. All right, our guy in the chair. And I don't think there's any better guy in the chair on this board at all than Alphabet Squadron's Karen Aiden. I'm bringing him in here. For those of you unfamiliar with Alphabet Squadron, Karen Aiden, he's basically mission control for all of Alphabet Squadron's dealings. He's a good spy. Also, Wes lifted the picture we're currently showing on the screen from like a card game.
He is a Balasor for the audio listeners, so it gives you an idea of what he actually looks like.
He's not going to sell you death sticks.
He's got gross little tentacles coming out of his head.
That's right.
It's Balasor.
They're going to poke you like an ant, like how ants listen to stuff. That's what he's going to do in your face. He's your mind.
So I have my Ant-Man. No, I think he just really has kind of a more hardline view of the Empire. He's a little intense, but I think he's going to give great intel. Jacob in the chat, if you ever finished Alpha Squadron, my guy, you would know who he is. Tried to read that book for 2 years.
I'm quite frankly surprised that this guy made the cut.
He's the ultimate spy. He's a huge spy.
He was the first one that called in to want to be a part of this. He actually called in before we even did this draft. He was like, "Hey,
he sent his resume.
I need to be in something on your show because I only get mentioned during roundtables, and so put me on a draft."
Right.
And
That's
then
right.
I actually respect this pick. I want to say that as someone who has read the Alphabet Squadron trilogy. Well, we better all have. We've done roundtables on all of them. He's a great character. He's a really actually intriguing character. If we just take a step back from like this draft and just say, let's talk about the books for a second, because it's kind of, why we're here. Like, he is one of the more intriguing characters, I think, in that series, wondering kind of how things are going to go down, which side he's kind of going to align with. You never really know what he's thinking. So he's a good pick.
He is there so he can try to not manipulate, but he's trying to get in the heads of these prisoners, hopefully turned from Imperial to Rebel, and hopefully they don't screw over the Rebels. So he's there to make sure that these people are on the up and up, that they actually want to turn over to the rebellion.
Yeah, he's kind of like Stephanie said in the chat, he's the Nick Fury of Alphabet Squad, but also kind of like the Amanda Waller from Suicide Squad. Like, he's a nice mixture of like, I'll kill you if I have to, but I also send you on missions, and I think that's important for Han to have, especially. I think you keep all my people in check, and then because I'm at the turn, my final member, I got, like Corey kind of said, I don't have a lot of loyalty morality in my team so far. I'm going to end with, I think, based on the list here, one of the only moral people left here. Oh, real quick. 4th round recap. We had Galen Urso on Wes's team. We had Kyle Katarn on Charles's team. Corey picked up Mission Vow / maybe Zalbar. And I am going to end my team and start the final 5th round with one of the kind-hearted people on this list, I think. And that's Del Miko from Battlefront 2.
The Hux there. You said kind heart, you know.
Oh, he's the spy as well. As he says, Del Miko from Battlefront 2. Also, I believe the Inferno Squad book. He features in there quite a bit. Like Iden Versio, does eventually turn to the rebellion, and like Wesley said, for most of your team, this guy has finally played both sides. He knows a lot. I didn't have a lot of Imperial knowledge on my team. Han kind of went to the academy for a bit, but like Del Miko has been in it. But now that he's seen it and come onto my side, I think he'll bring some valuable insight. And I'm really happy on him kind of balancing the more brutalistic tendencies, both of folks like Jin, who might want to go a little hard at some points, but also Han has a little bit of chaos, and Del Miko is really kind of like a more by-the-books guy. Which rounds me out with Han Solo, Vi Marati, Jyn Erso, Karen Aiden, and Del Miko. Happy to pick him to round me out here.
All right, strong choices. We're here at the end now, the final round of this, and
Slim pickings,
fellas.
But it doesn't mean it's a bad pick.
No,
That's
it's
true.
just last.
As long, I'm getting Mr. or Mrs. Irrelevant, so we'll see. We'll see what I end up with, but we'll see if the pick that you have on your team rounds out your crew as a solid group, or is like a splinter in the side of your heist. So
Yeah,
go ahead, Corey.
tough choices here. I think I have an obvious option though, because I have a good mix of smugglers and tech. Mission is kind of the tech guy, you know.
Yeah, I
need
believe that. I buy that.
I need a pilot. But
I'm the
so I
pilot.
need
I'm the
a
pilot.
I think the obvious answer here is Tycho. Tycho Selchu is my last pick. Interesting guy. Interesting that he's on here. He's not Wedge's brother.
Not Wedge as we know him.
Not Wedge. That's not a picture of Wedge, although you could have fooled me. 70s haircut in a rebel pilot uniform.
All these white guys look the same, man.
That is a self-portrait
Wedge.
painted by Dennis Lawson.
That is 100%. Let's talk about Psycho Selchu a minute, because this is a Legends character that a lot of folks may not be familiar with. Interesting guy. Tycho, I'm going to kind of reference in the Wikipedia article here a little bit. Tycho is from Alderaan originally, and he served in Rogue Squadron. He's heavily featured in the X-Wing books, the first couple especially. And he flew at the Battle of Hoth, he flew at the Battle of Endor, and he worked for the New Republic, and he dated Winter. And I guess did they end up together? Did Winter and Tycho
get married, man?
They get married.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They do end up together.
Legal.
He, in the, spoiler alert for the X-Wing books, a little bit, he had a really crazy thing happen to him where he was like captured by the Empire, sent to this insane prison where every single person that gets sent to this prison, they get like brainwashed, and then like they're like become sleeper agents, and they get activated like later on.
Oh, right.
And,
wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And Tycho, like, quote unquote, escaped from the prison, and it kind of really messed up his relationship with New Republic. And because they were like, well, everybody else, they made it out of this prison, like, they were sleeper agents, so they're just waiting for him to be quote unquote activated at any given time. So it kind of really threw a lot of weird political intrigue into the stuff
he goes
that
on
happened.
trial, and in the trial it's like the whole or one of the major plot points in I think it was Wedge's Gamble, the second book in the X-Men series.
I think it's the third one, if I remember correctly.
Is it the third one?
I haven't read the third one
Kratos
yet.
Trap?
Yeah, I haven't read
Maybe
Kratos
it was
Trap
Kratos
yet.
Trap.
And
It was one
I
of
feel
those
like
two.
he was just arrested at the end of the second one. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right.
They're
Third one.
rereading these because they're re-releasing them with the Essential Legends collections. But
All right. No doubt.
overall,
no doubt.
he's a really interesting character. He's loyal to no fault. I love the quote. This is the beginning of this. I'm going to read it because he was declared innocent. He says, "This is Mon Mothma is speaking this. She says, this is Captain Tycho Celtu, a loyal son of the Alderaan and the New Republic as ever lived. He willingly chose to subject himself to a surrendering of his basic freedoms in order to bring the Empire down. Because of suspicions about what the Empire might have done to him, it was felt he could not be trusted. Yet this man refused to let those suspicions prevent him from doing all he could to destroy the Empire. Let there be no citizen of the New Republic who harbors suspicions about Tycho. His devotion to the New Republic is unquestioned. Mon Mothma in a public ceremony. Tell me that there's not a more loyal member of my team."
Corey's trying to steal Mon Mothma.
Dang,
Mon Mothma's
trying
on
to
my team.
borrow
She's the one that's
Mon
giving
Mothma.
you those things.
Also, I just want to
Hold on
throw
now.
out there. That Tycho is not the only one that escapes the Lusankia, which was Isard's ship where they were brainwashing people.
That's true.
Corrin Horn did it, man.
Oh, so
Corrin
it's-
Horn did it too.
So it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
well,
So everybody can do it.
Hey, who
Everybody can
could-
do it.
nobody cares.
What, like
Nobody cares
Tard?
about that guy. He's not important.
It's hard. That's a good
All
choice.
right.
That was going to be my
That's a
choice.
solid pick.
Yeah.
Not mine. I have no
There's
idea
two-
who that is.
Well, you just found out.
Now you know. Now you know. See, this is why these last couple pictures are so hard, because you have to give like a 4-minute explanation of who the hell the damn character is.
Corey picked all
They
the
can't-
people I
alright.
didn't know who they were. I'm like,
Yeah,
All
they
right,
can't
Charles.
all be.
good
yeah.
work, Corey.
You know, Wes.
Somebody else who needs a long explanation.
No. See, Wes, you're right. They can't all be A-list celebrities like Oppo Rensis and Yariel Poof.
I'm in a Star Wars company. I know all about it.
All right, Charles, we
Hey,
got two
Charles.
left. We got two
All
left.
right.
And no matter who you get, you have to say why they're good for your team, which is going to be really fun once we get to the last pick.
Yeah, this is tough because I'm going to choose my person as much to choose that person as I am to not choose the other person. So I'm going to choose Dash Rendar. Okay. I'm going
Dash
to choose
Rendar.
Dash Rendar mostly because I don't want Hux. But let's just inspect Dash Rendar for a second. I like to think of Dash Rendar as like a Food Lion brand Han Solo, if you will, right? He's like
Food
Food Lion is a southeastern grocery store for those
Berkshire
who don't know.
Brothers Han Solo. Would
Whoa.
that work too?
He's off-brand Han Solo.
It's not the
Wiggly,
Harris
if
Teeter
you will.
version.
It's not. I mean, he's a Corellian. Like he's kind of like a '90s action hero-esque kind of character, right?
Dude, this
Not-
photo that we have of him is
Oh,
he looks like an
is it the
action
one
figure
from-
from G.I. Joe.
Pull it up. I don't even remember what it is. Pull it up.
Look at this photo.
Yep.
He is
What?
the 90s as a picture.
For
This
sure.
guy is 100% on steroids.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, this
There's
is
no doubt.
whatever time period he was in the Star Wars galaxy was the same time period Mark McGuire was slugging him over the walls here in our world.
God.
I'll tell you that.
Oh man.
Oh,
So, yeah, I mean,
he's
that's kinda
Universal
how I-
Soldier.
But that's kind of how I think of him. He's Corellian, right? He's kind of obviously like the rugged action hero kind of character. He flies a ship similar to the Falcon. It's like a YT something called the Outrider, which is in a lot of stuff as well. So a few reasons to choose him. He's the JV, he's the junior varsity Han Solo, and he's better than Hux, and he's the best choice that I have.
All right, I just want to point out that
Hey,
photo
Dash,
that-
you're here because you have to be. Sorry.
Yes. I just want to point out that the picture that they have of him on Wikipedia as the main photo on the legend side is atrocious. This
What
guy
is it?
looks like such a tool.
Wes, can you find it? I want to
Yeah,
see it.
You have to pull it up. This is
Oh
ridiculous.
my God. You have to. I forgot this was it.
Oh man, you definitely used some selection to pick the photos. Good God, all the photos of him on this.
Can I just say that Matt Davenport, our wonderful editor in the chat, said
God,
I was once called a Dollar General Kylo Ren at the opening of episode 7.
Wow.
Look at these photos on this Wikipedia article. Dear God, look at that guy.
Insane.
He's not using steroids.
Total
Chad. Probably should start. His name is
Chad
100%.
Rendar. That's not Dash. That's Chad Rendar.
Chaz Rendar.
This guy is a starting linebacker somewhere. He's even got the shoulder pad.
At a D3.
Listen, I'm telling you, all of the images on Wikipedia of Dash Rendar are just fantastic. I can't stop sharing them. It's just ridiculous. Oh my God. Anyway, Dash Rendar is an interesting character though from Legends as well. I like the quote that is on this one as well. Wikipedia is typically pretty good at picking the quote. Can I read it, Charles? Do you mind?
No, please.
Yeah, he says, this is Lando Calrissian that's talking. He says, Lando Calrissian on Dash Rendar. Says he doesn't want to owe anybody. He doesn't want anybody to owe him. He works for whoever pays the most. He's downright magic with anything that flies. And he can pick wing nuts off a tabletop with a blaster without scorching the finish. He's a good man to have at your back when the going gets hot, as long as your money lasts.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, if Corey can borrow Mon Mothma's reputation to support him, I will borrow Lando's to support mine.
All right.
See,
Chad Rendar.
I was gonna pick Dash Rendar over Hux, over my man Hux, who got a bad rap. One of y'all should have picked him a long time before.
Hux rhymes with sucks, and there's a reason for it.
Please defend this choice.
We're
not there
Mr.
yet.
Irrelevant.
We're not there yet.
There.
Dash Rendar had once said that Chewie was the brains of the operation, so that's why I wanted to bring him onto my squad, so he could, he could upvote Chewie on some of the things that we were going to be doing in our heist. But I select in the last pick of the Spies and Scoundrels Draft.
Consciously select.
I think I'm gonna go with General Hux. So Armitage Hux, if you will. So Hux himself is he lasted the longest of the spies. He held it together, right, until the very end. Okay. So Hux himself, he has subordinates. He can get people to do what he wants, right? So he's like, he can tell people to, I don't know, go and put this bomb in this underneath the generator in this Star Destroyer. And they'll do it just because they're drones, and that's what those people do. So, they'll just drop it there. But, or he can steal all the money and blame it on somebody else. So it's like, it was obviously Jerry. Jerry was the one that stole it. It's like, oh, we all hate Jerry. It's like, right, exactly. Oh, and by the way, shoot me in the arm, so they think that this is some kind of ploy. But
so what you're saying, Wes, is that you don't really care if you win. You just want me, Charles, and Eric to lose.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's it. Fair.
It's not a bad pick for my team. Whereas I have 3 spies. I have 3 spies in Mon Mothma, Galen Erso, and General Hux. So, like what Charles had said, more intelligence isn't terrible. But I'm happy. I'm happy with my draft. So we can recount everybody's picks. Corey?
Of your spies, whose binoculars do you think have the most eye holes?
What?
Quad knocks, man.
We talked about that in the Rise of Skywalker, because there's like 2 or 3 different scenes where they're holding binoculars, and each time it looks like there's more little eye hole ports. You remember what I'm talking about? Yeah.
So I just want to throw shade one last time. Not that I have to throw shade at Hux because it's Hux,
but you love to.
He's the only one on this list. He's the only spy, on this list who admits to being the spy, and he dies like 3 scenes later. So
it's true.
It's true.
He saved the rebellion.
He saved the dream.
He helped win the war.
Can't argue with that logic.
All right. So let's go around. We'll give you guys our final picks. Again, for those of you that are familiar with our drafts, we'll try to put these up on our Twitter later this week. There's a poll. You'll be able to vote for your favorites. It'll go through our next show. I'll start off. My crew is Han Solo, Vi Marati, Jin Urso, Karen Aiden, and Del Miko. And then Corey.
And then
I have.
Corey.
Wow, I appreciate that. I have
Corey
Lando
was on the
Calrissian, Tobias Beckett, Val, Mission Val, which, slash Delbar. I'm not sure if that's fair. Tycho, Selchu. How do you say his name, by the way? Is this Selchu?
We've been saying Selchu. I'm going to go with it.
I always said Selchu and I read the books, but I've never listened to an audiobook. So I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder if it's.
I like it.
I think they said Selchu because, anyway, I'm pretty sure they said Selchu. Anyway, my name is Selchu.
Yeah,
I'll take it. All right, Charles, how about you?
My team is Cassian Andor, Dexter Jetster, Winter Selchu, Kyle Katarn, and Dash Rendor.
And for the Legends Look Back fans, Dash Renda.
Dash Renda.
My squad for the ultimate heist is Mon Mothma, Chewbacca, Iden Versio, Galen Urso, and best pick of the draft, Armitage Hux.
Armitage Hux.
Hux.
Such a great crew. Again, like we said at the top of the show, if you're listening, I want to know who you would pick on your own teams. Throw it in the YouTube comments. Hit us up on Twitter, Discord, wherever you want. Who do you think is the best spy, and why is it Hux? Why should we have all picked him number one? Really? Why will we all look back on this and be like, we messed up?
He knows all the secrets, you guys.
He knows all the secrets. Will you vote for the team that has the best choice or best chance of success, or will you take the Corey route and just go for the popular vote? I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Vote. That's all
I'm
it takes.
excited. But before we get out of here, I do want to remind everybody, like we said, next week, which is September 5th live, and then September 8th and 9th, if you're on our audio listeners, we will be doing our Padawan roundtable. This will be a one-part roundtable going over the latest YA novel following Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then after that is our Andor preview show. The show did get pushed, but it doesn't mean we can't be excited for it. We're going to go through everything we know, talk about what we're most stoked for, and really just kind of be really excited for the next phase in Star Wars television. And then after that, we're doing our full two-part Princess and the Scoundrel roundtable. So that's our next few shows coming up. For all of which Corey will be in Hawaii. So we're gonna see how this works. I'm excited about it. Fellas, any last words to the grateful audience? To kind of pitch yourself, to say why they should choose you and why you should win this. Corey, you're coming off a victory from our last one by the numbers, so I'm gonna let you go first. Tell the people why they should recrown you as champion.
I think, once you win one, it's easy to win others. And I think my team I think my team speaks for itself. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I hope everybody listens to this before they start voting. Just exactly what you said.
Yes. It was easy enough to vote for me in the first place. Just do it again.
Right.
All right, I like it.
You know what to do, listeners. You know what to do.
As Saul Guerrero would say, you know what to do. Wes, how about you, dude?
I think I have a well-rounded group. I had a good strategy of getting people on the inside, but also have ties to the rebellion. I have people that were also with the Empire for the majority of their life until they died. But I also have muscle. I have people who do great parkour. I mean, parkour's popular, right? So
forget the parkour.
I have a very well-rounded group. So I have how can I put I have the I have the New England Patriots of 2 years ago, the year that they lost Tom Brady, when they won 8 games without Tom Brady.
You're losing the audience too, Wes. You're losing the audience too.
I got Emma's vote.
That's fair. You just had to mention the freaking Pats. All right, Charles. Why'd you build the best team?
So thus far, by Corey's logic, I have a pretty good record with our drafts if you go back and look. So yeah, vote for me apparently because of that. By Wes's logic, I think I have I'm going to say arguably the most well-rounded team. out of any of them. If you really go through and look at what each person provides that the others on the list can't.
You have the most arms out of everybody. I'll give you that.
I do have
by
the most
numbers.
arms. I do have the most arms. And finally, I want to say this. I don't know if our listeners will actually do this, but consider where we all were in the draft. Consider what we did with the 1 position, the 2 position, the 3, and the 4. Right?
It's true.
You can only work with what you got. Wes was 4th and he got stuck with Hux. So don't penalize him for that, right? Look at the rest of the teams.
Thanks, Charles.
And where we picked in the order.
All right, that's
Eric?
fair. That's fair. I will end by just saying I think I have a team that'll never quit. I think that between Jin Urso and Han Solo and Del Mico, a lot of O's, they just always keep pushing. And I also have the most variety. I got an original trilogy. I got Rogue One. I got a Galaxy's Edge. I got a book only, and I got a Battlefront. I am all over Star Wars. Everyone's coming together.
You know where the most heart gets you, Eric? 2nd place.
Is that a replacements reference?
Could be.
Go watch the replacements, everyone, and draft day. But overall, audience, I'm not going to tell you what to do because you know what? You're smart. You're great.
You're smart. You're great. You know how to do everything.
You know what the right choice is. And I want to thank you all for following us on another one of these draft episodes. I love doing these, again, especially this time of year. They're always fun to kind of just give a little chaos into the show. But I do hope you all come back the next couple of weeks as we talk about, again, more of these Star Wars books we love so much. There's so much that's been releasing lately that we've loved. And again, let us know if we did a good job on these. And if you want to see more drafts, see more shows, let us know what kind of things you like. Again, we exist only to serve you. Because we love you so much. But on that note, my friends, that will do it for this week's episode of The Living Force. If you support us on Patreon, thank you so much. Be sure to check out that commentary that recently got uploaded and let us know your thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker as well. A special thank you goes out to Brian Dooley, Patrick Ortiz, Earl Q, Robert Thomas, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, and Elizabeth Cloutier and Sally and Chris Eilerson on our Alliance High Command. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Eric Eilerson. Corey is at Corey M. Helden. It's just going to be pictures of my ties for a while. Charles is at C. Hankel, and Wes is at Boss Wes. A special thank you to Matt Davenport, our amazing editor, and our Dollar General Kylo Ren. Ryan, our graphic designer extraordinaire, and Wes, our producer and community manager. Thank you to Corey, Charles, and Wes for potting with me tonight. Thanks to all of you for watching the show and listening wherever you are. And as always, may the Force be with you.